So chapter 1, good questions. Please keep the questions coming. Chapter 1, we're just going to go over the core concepts of what is managerial accounting and why are we doing this and what kind of careers can it present and why is it useful. Okay, so let's talk about managerial accounting and the ethics. So what is managerial accounting? So your 101 course, we talked about financial accounting. We remember that financial accounting is based off GAAP, right? Generally accepted accounting principles. There's actual regulations that you need to follow if you want to be a public company or if you want to get audited and get some kind of financing. Most companies have to follow GAAP at a certain point. But GAAP doesn't cover everything. GAAP just gives us a prescriptive way of classifying transactions so that everyone follows them through all of the prior frameworks, like conformity, making sure that companies can conform to each other, and there's some comparability, and that everything's measured in dollars. Well, managerial accounting is the other end of the spectrum. Managerial accounting's goal is to provide financial and non-financial information. This is a key component here, right? We're not just talking about dollars anymore, for managers and decision makers of the organization. And so this is no longer for external investors or for lenders, right? That's what GAAP was for. This is for internal users. So how do we forecast information? How do we budget? And so the purpose of managerial accounting is for planning and control, right? Just like we would in our personal life. What should you be doing personally for your finances? You should have some kind of tool that you're tracking how much you spent last month. Be it looking at your bank statement. Like the worst case is you look at your bank and you find out you have negative money, right? That's not a great control. Hopefully you can look in your bank, or have a tool like I really like Personal Capital or QuickBooks or something, where you look and say, hey, this is how much I spent last month. Did I spend too much? Did I spend too much on eating out, or did I spend too much on going to the movies a bunch, or playing games, or playing golf, or whatever it may be? That's controls. Are our costs too high? Are we making enough money? That's another issue. It doesn't matter how much you're spending if you're not making anything, right? Do I need to be making more money? Is the job I'm doing a good job? Like, am I going to continue to have this job for a long time? Businesses are asking the same thing. They're worried, am I spending too much? Am I spending money on the right things? Right? Like, you spending money on college, that's a good way to spend money. You spending $1,000 at a bar, probably not the best way you can spend your money. Are your services profitable? Are you putting your efforts in things that are valuable and making you money and adding value to society down the road? And are the things you're doing, are the people happy with the way you're doing them? The same thing with businesses are concerned about. And then planning is the other side, looking at the future. Like, are the things I'm doing now or in the past leading me to where I want to go in the future? So businesses are worried about, should I be making new products? Should I expand to new markets? Should I build a new factory? You should be worried about, is this the career that is going to make me the type of money that I need to be, or I want to be making, or give me the lifestyle that I would want, while contributing to society in order to hit my goals, like getting a home or having a family or whatever your goals may be. So this managerial accounting is really relevant. I think it gives you a lot more skills that are transferable to your daily life than financial accounting, but you need to know financial accounting so you get your basic frameworks on how to measure transactions. So here you go. This is a nice summary. You need to know this. What are the differences between financial and managerial accounting? Who's the users for financial or external, managerial are internal. And that's really the main difference. Who are we focusing on it? Purpose of the information. Well, this is so external users can make decisions. This is so internal users can make decisions. Flexibility, financial accounting, because they're external users, it has to be conformed. So there's no flexibility. It has to follow GAAP. While managerial accounting, it's really subjective. So I'm going to be teaching you ways to make estimates, but you can alter them for your business. I have people reach out to me very regularly and ask me if the way they're doing, managerial accountants won't ask me if they have to do something a certain way. They'll be asking me, is this reasonable? We're entering judgment-based concepts, which is very helpful. Timeliness of information. is this available only after audit? That's financial accounting. Or is it relatively flexible? Can we present this whenever we want? Time dimension. Financial accounting is only focused on the past. Some rules are making us a little more forward looking. While managerial accounting, a lot of our planning is for the future. The focus on the information changes and the nature of the information. We can, managerial accounting, we can talk about things other than money or dollars. It's important to remember that like ethics is a key point to accounting. You can have a lot of issues with ethics when you're measuring people's money, right? And you're responsible for people's money, so, or assets. So at the end of the day, know that there is a requirement that even though this is more judgmental, we still have to represent accurate information. So what can you do with accounting? What can you do with the managerial accounting career path? Really anything, I'd say. I work at Google now. I've worked for some other top companies, represented other top companies. Understanding financial information and understanding estimates is one of the best career paths you could possibly have to start your career in anything. Like I could go and be a marketing analyst if I wanted, or I could go into finance, or I could go to strategy because I pursued my CPA and learned accounting. And so because every one of these career paths needs someone who understands financial information, right? In your business, that's what people care about. And so you could you could go into marketing, you can go into management. Like I have friends who've gone into something as simple as restaurant management to, you could be managing like Tesla's production facilities for cars. You can be an entrepreneur. Like I've helped companies, or I've helped entrepreneurs build out estimates for when they will be profitable. And then you don't even have to be a business major. So these are actually pretty low estimates here. This is US average. I'd say you can up it about 30% for the Bay Area. So like a financial analyst in the Bay Area is easily making 100,000 plus. Same thing as senior accountants or staff accountants are starting to get a little under the 100,000. CFOs could easily be making millions here. CFOs and treasurers if you're at a good company. So there's a lot of opportunity in accounting and managerial accounting, but it's really the holistic path. So this is one component of the four main components of a CPA, right? You have financial accounting, business and managerial accounting. You're going to learn tax accounting if you continue accounting education, and then you're going to have general business law kind of knowledge and finance knowledge. So, any questions about career paths? This is no joke. If you want to pursue a career here, you have a huge opportunity to have a very lucrative career relatively quickly. Yep, Christina?
Okay, I have a question about, you mentioned there's like 4 components of a CPA, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what you need to know at least. So I'd understand that like as people working toward a CPA, we would need to study all 4 of those, but when would you say, is there like a specific year in college you start really differentiating and choosing which one you want to focus on, or?
It's really after college.
Okay.
It's where your profession goes. Do you like want to learn about audit? Then you go become an auditor? Do you want to become a tax person? Or do you want to become more of a generalist and go to like business law and finance? So your internships will help you decide that. So as soon as you go to state college or your next move, or if you go to UC, you'll choose some internships and you'll get exposure to these areas.
I see. Okay, thank you, Professor.
No problem, my pleasure. And accounting is great where you never get niched. You can move around. So I know people who went to tax and then went to audit, then went into business consulting. You can move around. There's a lot of jobs. I can easily say if you become a CPA and kind of go down the right path, 5 years into your career, you should be making $100,000 a year. Almost everyone I know who went to a state college has been doing that. So, any other questions?